Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Shirtless Plantain Show. This is Coach's Corner, quite literally from Coach's Corner. Um, Arsenal beat Atletico, well, pardon me, Athletic Bilbao, 2-0 in the Champions League away from home. And yeah, let's talk about it. Probably give you guys about close to 10 minutes, I'll say, because I'm really hungry. So I wasn't pleased, to be frank, with the first half in general, but the lineup I think was, in hindsight, probably the right one, but I was giving you my raw feelings of how I felt at the time, and I did think it was an opportunity for us to potentially see Eze in the middle or Wanyeri in the middle. But with that being said, and seeing how the game panned out, it was probably the right decision. Bilbao are a good side. They are, even without Nico Williams, they're still a good side. Sanchez and Berenguer are just examples of what sort of threat they can carry. But yeah, I think the lineup was fine. I'm really pleased, to be fair. I'm really pleased for Mosquera getting another start. It would have been easy for Arteta to be like, yeah, let's get some minutes in the legs for Saliba. I don't think Saliba would have been tested today, like physically, and would have been made to run and face his own goal too much, basically. But yeah, so I'm pleased that he started. I would have thought maybe Mars Lewis Skelly would have started as well, but again, when you're in form, you're in form. So I'm really pleased for Calafiori getting some minutes in. But yeah, the midfield is the midfield. At this point, it kind of picked itself. We know Zubimendi and Rice are going to play pretty much every game. But that third spot with Odegaard's injury, I feel like it's very, very it's open to whoever. But right now, at this stage of the season, at least, Arteta likes and wants Marino there, which is fine, is what it is. But I'm not expecting creativity from there, to be honest. And we didn't really get any. We got some nice touches, but the midfield is there to, in my opinion, to stop the opposition first, and then leave the difference makers in our wide areas and up front, finally, with Gyökeres to do what we can with them. But in terms of actually trying to create through that midfield, I don't think Arteta is interested in that when he picks those players, which is fine. This is why you have a squad. This is why you have, you coach so you can change up how you want to set your team up, and it makes it harder for the other team to, I suppose, set up for you as well. So yeah, onto the game. It was really uneventful in that first half, especially. And I think Bilbao was slightly edged it, not with them outplaying us, just with more of their intent, I'd say. They sat deep initially and were trying to hit us on the break, which is fair. But they didn't really get much change out of us. And then I want to say, in around the 12th minute, that's when they settled into their mid block, and just made life really difficult for us. We weren't. I don't feel like we were connecting that much at all. Our distances were good. Don't get me wrong, especially our distances were good, but we were too easy to play against, and we don't really cause them any trouble outside of a few bits here and there. And the ball was moving way too slowly, way too slowly for my liking. But again, with that midfield, I'm not expecting it to zip that fast, to be honest. Yeah, but it is what it is. They then continued to actually press us quite high, and they got a little bit of joy doing that as well, making us kick it long, in the ball in some good positions as well. The thing that concerned me the most, I want to say, is the fact that they were outnumbering us. Their build up, I saw, it was clear, it was a 2-3 build up, and yeah, whenever Sanchez and Berenguer were looking for the ball, we weren't really able to track them because they were just manufacturing, 3v2s, 2v1s, pretty much wherever they liked in front of our defense. I have to be clear about this. They weren't really getting in behind us, but we were chasing shadows for a little bit, I'd say. But it wasn't disastrous. It just wasn't pretty to watch from us. But again, that's why we're hard to play against. That's why we're regarded as one of the best teams in the world off the ball. They can do all of that in front of our defense. But I think at the same time, just from spectators' point of view, it wasn't the funnest thing to watch. But on to more positive things. Gyökeres, he had, to my recollection, 3 chances in that first half. One of them, he essentially created himself the way he normally does. He just motors down towards the goal and just gets a shot off. The other one was a header from a cross, from a Julian Timber cross. And I think we had, did we get something else? Maybe, or maybe it was an Eze chance actually from Madueke, and Timber winning it quite high and he was just on his toes. That's pretty much how I think Arteta envisioned just, using our attack with that midfield behind him. I don't feel like he was expecting them to, get balls into us really quickly, get balls into those forwards really quickly and supplement them as well. But I just didn't see it happening. But yeah, they did okay. Gyökeres took a whack, started bleeding. And I think after that, the game kind of just, the rest of the half just pretty much fizzled out. But yeah, I think the second half we started actually pretty well. Had a chat with Dean and he made a really good observation that we weren't switching the ball, which might have been intentional, but I think pretty much as soon as the second half started, Declan Rice was just finding Madueke at will. I think he completed more take-ons in the first maybe 10, 15 minutes of the second half they did in all of the first half, to my recollection at least. It looked that way at least. There was a lot more intent there to be more direct and just get out the fullback. And then Eze got on the ball a little bit more. But he was quite quiet today, to be honest. But then he was looking for switches out to Madueke as well. Just a bit on Madueke, to be fair. I feel like with Saka being out, we don't have to rush him, basically, which is a good sign. We don't have to rush Saka back and just let Madueke get into rhythm, get him to learn the team, and hopefully Odegaard's not out too long so he can learn with Odegaard as well and build up his own relationship as well. But by the time Saka's actually fit and fully ready to go, Madueke is going to establish himself in this team, to be honest, which I don't think is a problem as many people might think it is. It's good. You want players to be trying to take each other's shirts off. Pause. But yeah, it's a good sign. I definitely think it's a good sign. But yeah, onto, I suppose, what I deem to be an understandable but maybe a bit of a strange substitution. So Gyökeres came off around the 60-something minute, but Arteta clearly saw something that we didn't. And he put Trossard directly through the middle, and I thought it would have been swapped, to be honest. I thought it would have been Marino going up top and Trossard probably on the left with Eze behind Marino, but Arteta just kept it the same. And we both it was Martinelli that came. Oh no, I remember, yep. Martinelli came on not too long afterwards. Yeah. So and we kept the same shape. Nothing much was really happening, but then we brought on Martinelli. And this is where, for me, Martinelli is, I've been for about 2 years now, not Martinelli in particular, but I'm talking about some first team players becoming rotational pieces, and not because they're crap or they can't play for us kind of thing, but their value skyrockets if they're used in that manner. And that, while, from a fan perspective and the club perspective, to be honest, it's probably a little bit selfish to think of them that way, but that's how, for Arsenal's ambitions, you get the best out of them. And I think Martinelli, especially in the last year or so, falls into that category as well. He's still, to my mind, maybe Madueke is taking that title off him, but he's arguably our fastest player. He's still one of our best finishers. It's just everything else around that probably isn't the standard. But those two gifts, the speed and the finishing, are like gold dust in these sorts of games, which we saw today. They are so valuable because he was on the pitch for 36 seconds and he took 4 touches and scored. That is devastating efficiency. And he didn't have to be on the pitch for 70 minutes, not, playing to the standard, annoying us. He's come on and changed the game for us, basically. Essentially won us the game. And then he's followed it up with a really good run against tired legs, might I add, to run around the player and just put it on the plate for Trossard. And that's where, like, Martinelli going up against players that are fresh as him kind of thing, it's a mismatch at this point. I just feel like the confidence to take players on and just, do stuff out of the ordinary isn't there anymore. But against tired legs, knowing how athletic he is, it's cash money for me. And I think especially in league games and tough Champions League away games, that's how we should be used. And you still get his starts because Arteta loves him. You still get his starts, but yeah, really pleased for him. Because he's shown the value of it of him right now, and then on top of that as well, it's shown the value of our squad. I mean, if you just go back to last season, had we had these injuries, it would have been Martinelli and Trossard starting with Marino up front. Our, I don't know, £150 million strike force is the one that started today. That we got in the summer is the one that started today, and then these players that were, not quite at the level last year are now changing games for us off the bench. Sounds like a match made in heaven for me. But yeah, special shout out to Timber. Timber was great as well. Guerra was, for me, man of the match. Rice was passable. Zimbeni was passable. Gabriel is Gabriel. Calafiori was actually quite good as well. But yeah, I'll leave it there. And yeah, see you guys next time. Peace. Like, share, and subscribe.